Hi guys, Chuck here, and we are back in Planetbase, picking right up where we left off. And no, I was just looking at some of it's basically just promotional material right now for the sequel, and it's looking like it's going to be pretty good. A little more detail, unless these are just cinematics, but it showed like more detailed views of the insides, of the domes, like with the people in there eating and doing their work and all that. So I think we'll be able to see a little more than we do now. But let's see what we have. We have more people. Now, we're about halfway there on this one. But there's still a ways to go, because obviously as we take on more people, we got to build more buildings to handle that. And as we can see, power storage is going to start lagging behind, so we need to up that. Right before I logged out the last time, we had started at least requested construction on this wind turbine, and it's not been built yet. We're still waiting on the materials. Well, let's see what this guy's got. Well, he's got some medical supplies. He's got some money. I'm going to try to take the money. I don't know if we're going to have enough stuff to trade for all that, but we got 60 vegetables. We got all these medicinal plants, which are worth 10 each. So we're gonna... I think we're gonna make it here. And we did. We took on some more money. That's gonna get us up over 300 now. I mean, it's the next trade shift that shows up with, some tech that we can buy. We might have the money to buy it, depending on what tech it is. Now, let's see. We're still waiting on this storage to get built, but it's almost there. And down here, I think we're going to go ahead and take the tops off the dome so we can see in there. We've got this robotics facility, and nothing's been built yet in there. And we've got more processor down here that doesn't look like it's functioning. Here's a dude taking a rest, and you watch these guys exercise, and sometimes their little frowny face will change. Like, yeah, you just got in a better mood by working out. Same with the guy. Look at, he even got more buff. It showed his muscles get bigger. That's pretty funny. So, this guy chilling out here, he's no longer depressed either. Alright, some of our stuff's getting built down here. All the robotics repair things going to get built before the ones to actually make robots. Well, I think we need to make them before we can repair them. At least that would make sense to me. So this is I think a prime case of a pretty small developer. And they made this one and Dawn of Man so far. And they were both pretty similar in gameplay loops, but just very good games. And some people that only play the AAA stuff, they're kind of missing out. And me, I play everything. But, some of these lesser known titles have really... I've got a lot of play out over the years. And the thing I like about this one, or it's what I like about Steam in general, is that, I have, Mac and a PC. And if I buy, a game on Steam, if it's made for both, I can play it on both. I don't have to buy it for each platform. And it seems to me like a lot of other companies could really learn, from them as far as, putting customers first and the needs of customers. And like I was just seeing yesterday where they're really fighting back against some developers for wanting to put in-game ads. Like, I mean, actual ads in your game, unskippable. And I think that's just ridiculous. We're bombarded with enough advertising as is without them sticking them in the middle of a game, which we tend to play these to get away from reality for a while. Anyway, off my soapbox. We are getting pretty close to getting this new storage built, which is going to be just in time because this one's filling up. And they're making more metal here. So after that, we're going to get this new wind turbine built. Because we're starting to run a little low on power. So we don't dare really add any more buildings until this turbine gets built. So if another trade ship comes along, we might go ahead and just buy some metal to get that cranking a little quicker. So see, now we're already running low on oxygen because of the power shortage. And now the wind's picking up, which should help. Not to mention the sun. Nope, we just got more people. Now we got power again. So I'm always torn between turbines and solar. There's a solar, generally, yeah, when the sun's up, it's pretty much guaranteed. Unless we get one of those storms come in, then you don't get any solar. And with the wind thing, you are really dependent on the wind. Now we're still these people are making stuff, so you wonder how long it's going to take before one of those metal pieces gets taken out here to finish that. Gotta wonder what they're putting it toward. Unless they're just constantly making spares down here. And looks like that guy is making spares. I think I hear a ship coming in. And it's a trader, so we're gonna... Let's see what we can find. I think we're gonna go ahead and grab that metal. And maybe... Yeah, I don't know if we got enough for the carrier bot. Anyway, let's put that back. Now, a farm dome patent for 400. We don't quite have enough cash for that. So let's look at trying to get those, well, all right, we got enough for the 4 pieces of metal. The next time around, we might be able to get one of these items. The farm dome is really big. And you can put a lot of food in there. We're not having too many problems with food yet, but we need to keep on top of that. And one thing about these larger buildings, so they cost more resources in the short term to build, but in the long term they use less energy per what the building gives you. So it's more efficient in the long run as long as you have enough metal production to build stuff. Now we're coming in a situation where the wind is not cooperating, and we have most of our power generation in wind turbines. So we don't have much storage. So when the sun goes down, we're going to really be kind of hurting, and we're over halfway through the day here. So we've really Like, I just bought 4 pieces of metal. And if they don't send some of that metal over here to finish this construction, I'm going to be a little miffed. We're going to put that on a high priority. I probably should have done that earlier, because we requested that construction a while back. And this out here is waiting on 1, and that's waiting on 4. And we can see they're producing metal. You just wonder, maybe I could set a priority on that building as well. I don't know how many things you can prioritize. No, yeah, here we go, having the power issues. I think they programmed this thing just to get you sometimes, like give you long periods of no wind just to punish you for building mostly wind turbines, which is what I did. So now we have this metal, and hopefully these dudes will bring it over there, you know, where we need it. Get this turbine built quickly. So here come 1, 2, here comes the metal. And if we get this thing built quickly, yeah, we're still waiting on more metal. Now we need that wind to pick up. I feel like we should be like the old sailors and start whistling for wind. Here comes the sun to bail us out a little bit. So what does that tell me? That tells me that as soon as we can get enough metal, we probably need to start putting down a couple more solar panels as well. Now I could go ahead and just place them now, and they'll just get built whenever. We had some people die of asphyxiation, so that is definitely not good. Let's go ahead and place this here and see if it gets built anytime soon. We're prioritizing these power generation things, but I'm not seeing the metal directed toward that project. So we might have to completely, you know, we're really losing people here. 15, 16 people dead. This is not good. Now, this is a spares workshop. We're going to have to turn that. We'll disable that structure. Turn off power and usage for that structure. And hopefully that will, yeah, that's going to get us, now the wind's blowing, at least it appears to be. So hopefully we are turning off the spares building. That should, because I think that's where all the metal's been going. Now, and of course we've run out of spares now. But if anything, this, now we got a trader here. Now, colossal panel. Or he's got a driller bot. I think we're going to go ahead. Wow, we don't have anywhere near that. I like how it tells you up here value is 400. But yeah, this guy's got a serious markup on his goods. So let's take the 3 bioplastics for 48. And we're just going to call that a day. Now, the last time I played this, I ended up in a period like this as well, where things kind of went to hell really quick. But I rebounded, and what's going to happen as soon as they decide to start producing metal and putting it toward what we're actually wanting it put toward, because I think they're producing it and it's going to other areas. So what I have to do is kind of look around and say, all right, where is this guy taking that piece of metal? Like, we need that on construction, and it's probably going to come out here to, put it in that robotics building. So what I'm going to do is turn that off. And hopefully, now you watch, I've prioritized other buildings, and that he's still taking the metal and putting it, oh, now he's leaving. Okay. Now let's, we're going to turn that off, so free that piece of metal up. I'm going to turn off we're just going to recycle all those items because, I'm sitting here praising the developer for making a really darn good game. But every now and then, you see these situations where they're not properly prioritizing where they put resources, even though we've put certain things on a higher priority, like the construction of this turbine down here. We put that on a high priority a while ago, and they haven't built it yet. But yet, they were putting metal down here to put toward, I know I requested those to be built, but I didn't put them as a higher priority. So you want to be a little careful with that sort of thing. Watch maybe requesting too many projects at once instead of just, waiting for, like, I guarantee you if I recycled that, then all that would go toward power generation and we could turn around and build a storage later. In fact, I'm just going to do that. So all these resources are available to put toward other things. So with that said, we should get our projects built. And as soon as that happens, let's speed up the gameplay here. Because, yeah, we had a bit of a hiccup there. And this game does not, it punishes you for making even the slightest little bit of a mistake. Like, placing buildings down a little bit too quickly. And, as many years as I played this, you'd think I would have kind of gotten a handle of that by now. But sometimes the people will prioritize different work than what you wanted them to do. Now, I'm going to go ahead because I think we have enough. This is waiting on one more piece of metal, and we have 5. So I think I'm going to turn this building back on. Enable structure. And we're going to enable everything there so they can start building more spares, because we have stuff that needs to be repaired and it's not doing so hot. Now, And that's what you're seeing, all these little wrench icons. Is we need to get spares working so we can get that stuff repaired. Now, look. Now, here we go. Now we have all of our power generation. We got a larger panel built, another turbine. We got 2 collectors. They're full of power. And it's going to take us a little while to recover our population from where we were. But I think we're going to be fine, except for the people that died. They're not doing so hot. But we're going to enable this structure. And now we're going to go back. This was the robotics facility. So we're going to add a bot workshop and a bot repair. And see how long it takes those things to get built. And when this storage gets back, full again, okay, they've repaired most of that, and some of these are repaired. Well, we got some people in there working on them. So that's going to get... We've got the spares workshop is not making more yet. We got plenty of bioplastic, and we've got metal. We got... It looks like we're doing okay on food, and we're doing okay on power now. Of course, we just lost a good chunk of our population, and we're not going to get any more people coming back for a little while until, the people that are here start becoming a little happier. Now, as soon as I said that, but that's a trade ship, and let's see what he's got. Anything... Yeah, he's got money, and we would like that money, but we don't have a lot of stuff to trade for it now. So we're going to have to probably dismiss this dude. But maybe I could get like 50 bucks off of him. Let's see about that. Well, I don't know if I don't have enough stuff to trade for that. So we're just going to dismiss him. And we'll catch the next one. So, but for now, I think we're doing a little more stable. On power, run out of spares again. Let's check the base management. And check the grid. Well, we're a little low right now, but it's nighttime, and I think we're going to see those numbers flip around. And when the sun comes up, and here we go, we're going to start generating a little more than we're taking in. Yeah, there we go. Now it's catching up. So there's something else I wanted to look at there. Okay, that's stats. Now we went from poor to decent. So, as that number goes up a little bit, we'll start to recover that population. Now, let's see what that is. Yeah, we got another person come in. So we're going to start replenishing. As long as we don't... have any other power issues like we did last time. All right, we got a dude repairing the turbine. We got another dude repairing another one. So just about all of our broken stuff has been repaired. You can see up here we're replenishing our food stocks. Our bioplastic is really going up nicely. So if we start getting a surplus in materials like that, then that's where we can start selling some of those items. Now, one thing we haven't built yet is well, obviously a telescope, which will destroy incoming meters. We can put a signpost, a pyramid. These are all cosmetic. Radio antenna. I think we will build that. We're going to attach it to our where our guard is. And we need a water tank because we're going to start using more water. Now we can put that, I think we can attach that to the water collector. As we grow, that's going to be essential. We're going to start using more water. Now, this guy's got not much money. He's got some robots. We have a constructor bot and a driller bot. We've also built a bot factory. So I think we're going to, hope that we start actually producing some bots here pretty soon. So we're going to look for trying to get that money. Let's maybe sell some of our bioplastic and some of our vegetables. And there we go. All right, now we've increased our cash a little bit. Okay, so I think we're also going to need to be thinking about more of these processing plants, because we're never quite getting ahead on metal. Every time we think we are, they're just using it at alarming rates, because we never have any numbers climbing up there like we have with the bioplastic. In fact, they haven't even taken all the bioplastic off the ground out here and put it back in storage. Gotta wonder what they're thinking with that. So, I think I'm gonna add some more food. And maybe put a tree in here if we can. Okay. So we're going to be doing pretty good on food. And they're already starting to stockpile food here. And the storage isn't even full. We got one piece of metal. We just need to get this radio antenna built. Well, we had a piece of metal and it just disappeared. So I wonder where it went. It didn't go toward that. It didn't go toward this. So it probably went to the making the spares. Well, I guess we've been producing spares because now there's nothing that's in need of repair. We have a trader back, and he's got metal and he's got money. And both of those look tempting. But I don't have a whole lot to trade for it. So let's see how much. Looks like this guy doesn't have a very high commission. So we might be able to, buy some of that money. And there we go. So now that should get us up over 400 in cash now. So maybe soon we'll be able to get some of those large blueprints. Start building some of that big stuff. Because like I said before, the big stuff is a lot more efficient. So you build one of those gigantic domes, and it doesn't take as much power per like the square footage you have as it does, say, to put like 2 smaller domes. Okay, that's another oxygen generator. Yeah, we get a little more metal. I think we're going to put another processor down. Because I don't think we're just producing quite enough. So I'm going to put another one of those domes. But I don't know if we're ever going to get enough metal to actually build the darn thing. But I'm going to go ahead and request it to be built now. And let's see, where are we? Processing plant. I'm going to put one right here. And we just got some more people. Back up to 27 people now. And we can see our vegetables are growing. You know, we're producing more than we need. If we could just get another processing plant here, and I'm going to put nothing but, you know, metal machines in there. We've got enough bioplastic coming from the other 2 we have. So we're going to increase our metal production. Hopefully start actually stockpiling some. So let's speed things up and see if we can get this built anytime soon. Okay, I had to step away from the computer for a couple minutes there. Hopefully I got back in the right position. We don't see too many glitches on the video feed there. But another colonist ship comes in. I think if another trader comes, I'm going to buy some metal. Then I'm going to prioritize construction on this building. Well, hopefully they'll actually prioritize it, because we've been having a few issues with that lately. And it cost us a bit of population the last time. But you often think, you know, in a situation like this, if you went off to some, you know, remote planet like Mars and you're living in domes, would people start to go a little stir crazy after a while? Or would these domes have to be pretty large and be able to replicate, you know, natural environments, you know, fairly well? Because I think after a while you'd start to go nuts. Or at least you'd want to, like, you know, I need to get out of here, get some, you know, outdoors. More colonists. Well, I guess, you know, that's probably going to help us, because we've got a pretty good food surplus, and we're generating enough power for the buildings we have. More people can only increase productivity, possibly. Get more workers. Sandstorm imminent. Now, it always decreases the game speed. Now, on the other planets, the weather events are drastic, and your people get caught outside, they can just die. I mean, they'll die in droves. And so what you have to do then is you have to issue these alerts from your security people. And so when the sandstorm is coming, or the different storms, you had better get your people inside, or you'll end up losing them. But on this planet, these sandstorms don't really do any damage. In fact, you kind of like them because they get your turbines cranking pretty good. And so your power storage gets, up there where it should be. So, we're really looking to get this other processing plant built. That radio antenna is here and there. That's not as important. But the robotics thing down here is going to help us out immensely. And this other water collector, the water tank, I don't know when that's going to get done either. Now we got more people. So, possibly if we can get the population back up where it was, our productivity should go back up as well. Because I'm not seeing much go on here. I'm seeing a bioplastics increase, but the metal is not. It's not moving. Now we got a trade ship, so what do we got? Just money, which we're going to take. Hopefully we got enough. 174, 50% commission. That is pretty steep, so I don't know if we're going to quite get that much. Well, we might be able to. Just, we did something there that's not good. We can only send 60 items to this dude. So let's take one of those back. There we go. Have to send them something worth a little more. Alright, now that's going to put our money pretty good. So now we just need to get a trade ship with one of those blueprints now. And I'd really like these other items to get built. But they're not in much of a hurry to produce some metal and get those built. Probably because we're producing spares again, and it seems like the game prioritizes those, which makes kind of sense because that's how you keep things in working order. We don't have anything in non-working order right now. So I'd really like to see some metal show up on some of these other projects. There we go. There's one. Now, we're still waiting on that, on the metal for that to get built. Now, he's waiting on 2 semiconductors, and we're not even making those. So that's gonna take a while. We will recycle that, put that metal to other use, and we need. It's a semiconductor foundry is actually working. It just doesn't appear to be producing any. I don't have it turned off though. So anyway, those will show up, and then we not need a bot repair facility because we don't even have bots. I think we got 1. Nope, we got 0. No bots left. And we got more people. So let's see if they bring this metal down here and get this built. In the meantime, that's basically where we are. We're waiting on resources to build 3 items. One of these is going to get us more resources to help build the other 2. And let's see about... Well, we'll take the 2 metal. And we'll take the 50 money. And it had us buying a bot, which I don't really want to buy yet. So that's 112 in money. Vegetables are getting us 5. So that got us the money plus 2 metal. So that should get this item built because it's waiting on 1 metal. So that's where we are. We had a hiccup. Had some people die. Base is good status. Prestige is increasing. We're going to start gaining more population again. I think we're going to get this built. Yes, it is ready to go. So when that gets built, we're going to start producing more metal, which means we'll get these other 2 items built. Then we'll be able to look at getting ahead of the game a bit. Starting to stockpile some resources. Go ahead and increase the infrastructure before we need it. You know, get more power generation going. We're currently generating more than we need, but we need to up that. Right now we're producing 172 and we need 107. We need to increase that even more because we're going to start expanding structures a little farther out here to accommodate the larger population. We're going to have to put we're going to have to grow more food mainly. We're going to need another food dome. Probably more beds, because I've been seeing some people running around with, you know, the sleepy icon over their heads. And we've currently only got 1 room with beds. We got 34 people. We start getting over 50 people, we're going to need more beds. So this is built now. We are going to fill it with, you know, stuff to build metal, to make more metal. Now our water storage is up, so now we should start storing excess water, and eventually we're going to need all that. We might have to even do more because it takes water to produce the oxygen. And as we're probably going to at least double the number of structures, so we're going to need all that oxygen. So things are looking a little better. So you can see our vegetables are continuing to increase more than we're eating them, which is good for when these guys come. Now, this guy's not, we don't need food. And he's a food trader, so let's see how bad his commission is on money. Can we go ahead and take all that money? We're going to find out. 191, 40% commission. Yeah, we don't need to sell that many vegetables. Actually, we can only sell 60 items to this dude. So I don't think we're going to be able to get all that money from him, because we really don't have enough. Well, actually we do now. We can sell one other item there, and we did it. Because, you know, up here it tells you how many items this guy can take. and he's limited to 60. So you have to kind of juggle around what you're sending him to not go over his what he can take there, over his limit. So now we got a lot of money. Maybe the next trader will offer one of those blueprints, like maybe the really big solar panel, or there's a really huge dome for food, big food dome. And the only thing we have left to build in our queue is the radio antenna, plus the 4 metal processors in our building there. So that's where we are. We're back on a stable footing again, which is more than I can say for a few minutes ago. And that's going to be a pretty good spot to leave off for now. So if you've enjoyed this video, or if you have learned anything, like if you've learned from my mistakes to help you in your own gameplay, then you can leave me a like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that very much, and I will see you next time.